Hello everyone, my name is Holden Hardman. Thank you so much for joining us again for another video. My friend Matt and I just got out of the theater for the new Superman movie. I want to share some of my thoughts. This is going to be a semi-spoiler review. I'm not going to give away any main things, but it's really hard to talk about the movie without talking about like specifics. So that's just your fair warning right now. Semi-spoilers. I'll try not to give away everything, but there's some specific things I just want to mention. Matt, you've been on the channel for a long time. We've watched a lot of movies. You're known for being extremely critical of movies that people really enjoy. I'd love to know what you thought of Superman.
I think it's rad that there was a dog, because I've never seen Superman or superheroes with dogs. I'm kind of a dog fan, if you did not know. How the dog acted really fit that type of breed, I feel. Initially, I was like, man, I want it to be like a bulldog or, American bull.
It's like a lab originally.
Yeah, but I'm just partial to bulldogs. Ultraman? Is that a...
Yes.
That's a person?
Yeah.
All right, terrible name. Clark, I'm pretty sure there was a shot or two when he was first revealed that when he was actually Clark Kent. I'm pretty sure they had some broccoli hair on him. I'm pretty sure. That was interesting to see. They're doing another Mission Impossible. Who was the random hero in the interview with the shiny hat? Dude, DC has some garbage-ass names. I feel like the main conflict of the movie was a little forced. It didn't feel like there was a whole lot of setup to it. And I'm about to say something that I'm going to ultimately retract here in a minute, but I have to give you what I felt in the beginning. And I was like, don't do spoil. I'm just gonna talk and you cut out what you don't want.
All right.
The biggest conflict was hinged on a video that just went out. Like everybody's like, well, just take it at face value. Like this is what it is. I realized later on in the movie, it's like, well, the conflict was kind of the same way that the conflict was set up. Like some of the resolution was found with Lex Luthor and that video and whatnot. And then I realized, I was like, oh, this is to me, my interpretation was that it was a political message about blindly believing media, which I thought was actually a pretty good message. Lois Lane had no business being in this movie. Her role was so minuscule, it felt like. What did she do? The whole world hated Superman, but then that kid in the desert put up a flag and everybody's like, Superman, Superman. So maybe I missed something, but it just felt kind of convenient at times for the writing. I don't know. Arbitrary villains almost killed him so many times. I could care less. I couldn't care less. I feel like I felt like Superman was never really in danger. He was never gonna die, so there really wasn't consequences. Finally, I got two Bygone Jim moments. Your choices, your actions are what make you who you are. Pretty rad. And lastly, I screw up all the time, and that's what makes me human. That one's very much more run-of-the-mill, but two redeeming qualities for sure. Great Bygone Jim moments there.
We'll save our ratings for the end. I had some mixed feelings on it. I hate coming at it this angle because I think there's an expectation for me to love it, go full deep. So I'm just gonna give you my honest thoughts. Watching it fresh, there were some things I really liked, some things I really didn't like. I took some notes as well. Casting, first off, 10 out of 10. I thought everyone was cast perfectly. Loved Superman. I thought Lois was great. She was cast as Lois. Jimmy Olsen, and even some of the new characters. Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner really won me over. He was so funny. So casting was wonderful. There's a twist with Jor-El and Laura that I absolutely hated. I'll just leave it at that. I hated it. You can watch the movie, you'll probably figure out what I'm talking about. It's significant to the movie. Superman was really weak throughout. I think that he's probably one of the weaker Supermen we've seen on screen. I don't think he actually won a fight until the very end. Do you remember that scene in Superman Returns where Superman gets shot in the eye and the bullet hits it and it falls off?
Yeah.
And it just displays just how
strong,
incredibly powerful he is.
Sure.
I feel like if this Superman got shot in the eye, it'd be like a human getting shot in the eye with a BB gun.
Oh my God, you shot me in the freaking eye!
He just was weak. He was just a weaker Superman. Mr. Terrific was a standout character. I had no previous knowledge of him really, and he stole the show for me. I was like, this is Superman with Mr. Terrific kind of really just helping everything along the way. Loved him. I thought he was great. I hate the fisheye lens while flying. This is becoming a more common thing. It's a very James Gunn style of flying. We saw it in Guardians 3 with Adam Warlock, the way he flies towards the wide angle lens. Black Adam did the same thing, and they used that same type of shot multiple times throughout this movie. I've always thought it looked bad, and I still do. So that's a cinematography thing. That's just my opinion, but it is my opinion. The musical score 10 out of 10. I love, there's this part where the little kid's putting up the flag and it's like the guitar. I thought that was great. There were some renditions of John Williams' score, and then there's also the songs, like the classic songs, very James Gunn, old school, that fit. So I thought that was great. I saw this reference before going into the movie, and I couldn't agree more. It felt like Superman the Animated Series made in live action. I think that's probably a pretty fair assessment of it. You mentioned the "you're who you choose to be" thing, and then also "I'm human just like the rest of you" were like these big crescendo moments. I thought that they were pretty generic platitudes.
Agreed.
We'd kind of seen, that wasn't anything new. We've seen that kind of stuff before in other superhero movies, particularly I'm just as human like everyone else. I wish that they would have done something a little bit more creative than that. Matt just said he delivered it very well, but it was very run-of-the-mill. I agree. There's a part where Superman has to escape this prison. They used the shot in the trailer, so I'm trying not to give away too much. The manner in which he escaped was so obvious to me. I actually thought it was a part of Lex Luthor's plan for him to be imprisoned and then escape, and it wasn't. And Lex Luthor in this movie is very much portrayed as like the smartest guy by a mile, very arrogant and very prideful. I could not believe that Lex Luthor wouldn't have had a contingency for Superman escaping the way that he did. I was just kind of flabbergasted by that. I liked Krypto. We'd never seen Krypto in live action before. It's also very James Gunn, and I could see some people really like taking or leaving it with that. You mentioned it felt like we were kind of thrown into it. I agree. This movie is like very much hit the ground running. It honestly felt like the middle of like a Marvel Phase 3 movie. Like there's like all this stuff that has happened before that they gave us a little bit of exposition at the beginning that he's been Superman for 3 years. He's already with Lois. They're kind of already have this relationship thing going on. I don't think that's a bad thing at all, just because we're so familiar as audience members with Superman. So I did kind of appreciate that. The universe already feels really, really big. Even having the Justice Gang around, we have references to the Lantern Corps, these pocket dimensions, other worlds, in this prison setting system. There's like all these other characters. So I think that that's smart on one hand, because we can have theories of where the stories are going to go potentially. Downside is, and kind of one of my reservations about the Superman movie, is that it wasn't really a Superman movie. It was Superman featuring, XYZ characters that will have roles kind of later on, and that's sort of the downside of having everything being interconnected. I loved Lex Luthor's performance. I thought he was great, very much Lex Luthor, and I do feel like the movie nailed the fun quality, and James Gunn's always been very, very good at that. And I'm trying to keep some of the spoilers. There's like one particular fight with Superman and another character that I don't want to spoil, but that was really fun to watch. But Matt, I would love to know what you would rate this one.
Moved on over here because we have a block party going on from someone's vehicle over here. There was a bunch of civilians that, if you just look at the logic of it and the buildings and all that stuff, like how much damage is going to be done and how many people died. Hey, superheroes, I think we were late to this one. I don't think everyone got saved. FEMA, they're not even going to be able to find the bodies, okay?
I always love that element in these movies where like everything has already been so destroyed, but like the climactic ending, everyone's like celebrating when there's like, well, 90% of the population has to be dead.
I find that very comical and kind of like the opposite of like a superhero movie where everybody gets saved. People are dead, man. People are dead. If I have to wrap this up, I'd never watch it again for sure, but I'd give it like a 6.5.
I would probably give this movie a 7 out of 10. I know that there's some people who are going to think I should have rated it higher. Like I said, there were some things I really liked and some things I really didn't like, and so that's kind of where I am. I would definitely watch it again, maybe after a rewatch when it comes out on streaming. I've had some time to kind of digest the movie. My opinion will change a little bit, but right now I'm sitting strongly at a 7 out of 10. But of course, these are just some of our thoughts. We'd love to know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you've already watched Superman, if you're planning to watch it, hopefully we didn't give away too much. I really tried to refrain a little bit in that regard, but we still love to know what you thought. Leave this video a like, it helps the channel out a lot. Subscribe, make sure you check out Matt's channel. Matt, thank you so much for joining me watching Superman. I know you absolutely did not want to come out here,
not one bit,
especially because it's so late, but thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you in the next video, everyone.
Just like trillions of dollars in damage and like civilians just dying left and right. I'm serious, there had to be like just arms hanging out of buildings instead of just everybody died.